back with a very quick video for you guys. I've noticed as I'm critiquing you guys' work that you guys are still working at a high resolution. So before you start your projects, and even if you do, we'll go over that as well. Before you start your projects, you want to start with a high resolution document. Um, so to do that, you want to go to File, New, open the document as usual. And when you head over here to the right side of the panel, you want to work with a size. Think of it like a size that you want to be printed of. Like a normal piece of paper, an A4 is 8.5 by 11 inches. So you might want to stay within this range. Or you might go a little bit higher, like 11 by 17, whatever your document is. Or whatever your thumbnails. Like if you measure your thumbnails and you want to bring it back up if you're working with your whole document, maybe you want to work with like 8 by 12, whatever that size is. So the longest side, since it's horizontal, is going to be the width. So you want to stay within that range. You don't want to go like 40 by 70 inches, because that's just going to mess up your processing power. Like you can have like the most powerful computer, but once you start packing in those layers, your processing is just gonna have a hard time keeping up. Now, as far as with resolution go, minimum stay at 300 resolution. This is where having a smaller width height inches is going to come in handy, because if you're working with 40 by 70, a 300 resolution will add more onto that hardship for the processor. So stay within this range and make sure that the resolution is 300. So let's create a 300. I'll show you the difference between working with a 300 resolution. So create and File, New, and let's say a 72 resolution. Create. Excuse me. So here, let me pick a brush, a normal red one here, and I'll set it to 55. Let's go a little higher. 89 pixels. So this is a 300 resolution document. And here, switch over to the 72 pixel, you'll notice the brush looks a little larger. So this is 72. That is because what the size of the brush here is gonna have more pixels within the document. So this has more details. So if I paint on this document with 300 resolution, it's just saying that you can do a lot more details. Because if you start zooming in, you can zoom in a little bit further until everything kind of starts blurring out the edges. And you can see all the little pixels is kind of packed in there to create a much smoother stroke. So a 89 pixel brush would look a lot sharper and a lot smoother on a 300 resolution document than it would a 72 or lower. See, as we go in, immediately you're going to see a lot of blurriness along the edges, and the pixels are a lot larger. That's because you want to think of it like 72 pixels per inch. Per inch of that document, you're just going to have 72 pixels kind of staying within it. Now, the problem with starting out with a lower resolution document is that it doesn't leave you a lot of room to go higher. So let's say we want to take the 72 resolution document, image size, so you can see this, and bump it up to 300 like you should have done at the beginning. You're basically stretching out the resolution that you had from the very beginning. And because of that, you're going to get really, really, really bad edges. It's not as smooth. Basically, you're telling the computer to, and you can see a little bit of pattern happening here. You're basically telling the computer to stretch out the 72 pixels and then fill in the gaps where there's missing pixels in between. And because of that, you're just going to get a really uneven edge. And oftentimes, it's going to look really, really blurry. That's why sometimes when you download low resolution images from the internet, it's because it's uploaded that way and you want to look at it on Photoshop, you're basically stretching it out and not having all those resolution there for you to see. Now, 72 resolution is pretty good if you want to upload it to the internet, like, Facebook, whatever, or your website, a background for your website. It's pretty good. But once you start printing that, it's not going to look really good. So it's always good to start out high, 300 resolution. And then if you decide maybe that's too high to upload to the internet, you could go to image size, and then you could go lower. And see how much smaller that looks compared to how zoomed in we were a while ago. So this would pass a little bit more if you send it off to the internet. But yeah, always start high. Always at 300 resolution. You can always go low, and go, let's say, 72 resolution and save it as another document. And you're always going to have the high resolution version of your illustration. So always start at 300 resolution. So guys, it's really important before you start your illustrations, even if you're in the middle of it, let's say, for example, this one right here. If we go to image, let's say you're in the middle of your illustration right now. You are in the middle of already working on your final illustration. You might want to check as early as you can to check out what type of resolution you're working with. Just like in the last two examples, you want to go to image size. Now you can see here that the width is going to be 20, height 10. That's not too bad. But again, you want to be working at 300 resolution. So again, do this as early as you can, because let's say you are halfway there rendering. Once you bump it up to 300 resolution, yeah, you're going to lose a little bit of that quality, and edges are going to be a lot blurrier. But at least you did it as early as you can so that you could continue painting on top of it. Now, if you have it at the very end and then you blow it up, then you're just going to end up with a really blurry, low quality illustration, and you really don't want to do that. Always always think like you are going to be printing these. So that's a really good way to just go about and just subconsciously have that in the back of your mind. You're always going to print these, so you always have to make sure that the resolution is set 300 resolution. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Just a little quick announcement as well. Well, not really an announcement, because I'm still trying to find time so you guys won't be too backed up. But turn whatever you guys have in for your final illustration, whether you think you're finished or not, at the original due date this Sunday. And let's see if we could sort of, find some wiggle room after that to continue working on it. I still want you guys to get a second peer review with your fellow classmates, just in case you guys have some questions about your illustration. And I could jump in there as well and, give some advice and tips if you guys need it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to your final illustrations. Turn them in this Sunday, and I'm going to work out the details on trying to extend it right afterwards. That's pretty much it. You guys have a great weekend. I'll continue doing critiques. Stay safe, as always. Bye, guys.